These are some of the exhibits from the Penrith gun show. This is an old print of the Gordon Highlanders storming the Dargai Heights in 1897. And now we're moving on to a selection of British military swords. The first one at the top is the 1796 pattern British Army Officer's Sword, retailed by Prosser of London, and the one below it is a George IV 1822 pattern sword. And we're moving down to another 1822 pattern sword. This is Victorian period. This one was retailed by Buckmaster, and another British Army officer's sword, Victorian period, on the bottom, is retailed by Linney of London. Move around to look a bit closer at the hilts of the swords. We'll now move on to two examples of British cavalry swords. The top one is the 1853 pattern light cavalry sword with a Reeves blade, and the next one, cavalry sword, is an 1821 pattern light cavalry sword with a Wilkinson blade. Both of these swords were the type that were issued to New South Wales and Victorian police in the colonial days. And this sword is another infantry officer's sword, the pattern 1892 infantry officer's sword, which was etched on the blade New Zealand Wellington rifles. The lighting at the gun show is never really that good to be able to do some photographs, but nevertheless it gives the viewer an insight into the sort of exhibits they will see. All of these swords are part of an historical exhibit. They're not offered for sale. Now we have two naval cutlasses. This first one at the top, War Department marked, and is dated 1900 from memory, and the bottom cutlass, in one sword book it said it was made about 1850s, but I think that it's probably a little bit later, probably the late 1800s. Move around and have a look at the hilts. Hilts of the cutlasses. Go back and we'll have a look at the hilts of the cavalry swords. Here's the two cavalry swords and the 1892 pattern infantry sword below them. All of these exhibits regularly displayed at the Penrith Arms Fair, held 4 times a year at the Sydney suburb of Penrith. If you Google Penrith Gun Show, you'll see the website of the organisers who run the show. Moving back up to the print where we started, you can see the Gordon Highlanders storming the Dargai Heights in 1897. The print contains a portrait of Lieutenant Colonel Henry Mathias, who was the commanding officer of the Gordon Highlanders, and the lady in the photograph is Jane Gordon, who is the 4th Duchess of Gordon. She lived from 1747 to 1812. She was instrumental in raising the regiment back in the 1790s. Thank you for watching.